I am having a rather lazy Sunday full of reading, and I decided to do a Kindle haul since a few of you said that you were interested in it. I put up a poll on Instagram about if you would rather see pre-2020 backlists or 2020 releases, and it is exactly tied 12 to 12. So I'm just gonna go with what I want, and I'm gonna do my backlist titles because I'll do the 2020 releases that I've bought at the end of the year, so you can see all the 2020 releases that I bought. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I already hate myself because I know that I'm gonna have to edit in all 42 of the images here. So yes, I have bought 42 ebooks that I haven't read and haven't shared with you guys, but this is everything 2019 and backwards over many years. And this should be fun because I'm also, it's afternoon on Sunday, so this is a hot coconut, which is a hot cocoa with coconut rum, which is honestly amazing. But okay, let's get into it. So I split this into genres. So if you are looking for specific genre that I have bought, the links are down below. So first off, let's start with thriller and horror. The Arrangement by Robyn Harding from Canada. This is, I believe, a sugar daddy and spoiled baby girl story, only when the sugar daddy decides to end things, the girl who is being spoiled doesn't take it well and things get dark. I really want to read it. Rules for Vanishing by Kate Alice Marshall. This one, I'm really intrigued because I've read another of Kate Alice Marshall's, I Am Still Alive, which was dope. Rules for Vanishing, I believe, is a group of friends that go deep into another realm, which is full of ghouls, I think. Next, Empire of Wild by Cherie, Dimaline, who is an Indigenous Canadian author. This one is about a woman whose husband goes missing, and then when she finds him again, he's like this preacher who remembers nothing of the past, and she's trying to help him remember who he is and why his memory is erased. Next, Tinfoil Butterfly by Rachel Eve Moulton. This one is about a woman who's on the run from someone who I think is trying to kill her. She pulls over into a small town and meets a young child who wears a tinfoil hat and has their own really dark things happening in their life. So I've always wanted to read this. It has super low ratings, which is why I haven't, but I'm intrigued. Dear Child by Rory Hausmann, which is a German release. This one says it's very similar to The Room, where a young woman is taken and she has children, I believe, with her captor. Only this book starts at the end where she escapes, but the horrors aren't over yet. So the premise intrigued me. Next, Leave No Trace by Mindy Mejia. It's either set in the woods or she's trying to get a new identity. I'm confused about which Mindy Mejia I'm thinking about. Next up is Marrow by Tarryn Fisher. This one deals with, I believe, a neighborhood where we're following a main character who has dark things happening in her own life, / the house also might be haunted. Not sure. Next up are two Nick Cutters, The Deep and the Troop. He is a Canadian author, horror author. I have had him on my Kindle for a while, but I just haven't read him for some reason. I think I'm gonna finally read The Troop this October because I've heard it's really body horror focused, and I'm like, sounds good. Also, The Deep is set in the ocean, so that is what intrigued me originally, and then I got distracted by other new books, but I do really want to pick it up. Also, we have Confessions by Kanae Minato. So this one I actually picked up recently, but I'm putting it in this because it was out 2008. I picked this up because Jordaline read it and absolutely fucked with it. It's about a teacher who gets revenge on the students that killed her child. And last up for thriller and horror is The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. This one I have just heard really great things about. It's a short story, dystopian short story, I believe. And yeah, everyone is recommending Shirley Jackson to me, and this one has been on my Kindle since I think university. So should get to it sometime. Next up, let's talk about dystopians. So I have Waist Tide by Chen Qiufan, who is a Chinese writer. And this one sounds very familiar things to me, which is a South Korean release where we're following people who are living on a like trash heap floating in the ocean, I think. And in this world, there's also huge robots. Next, I have Moon of the Crusted Snow by Waubgeshig, who is an indigenous Anishinaabe Canadian author. This one, I believe, is about a dystopian world where pretty much power and water gets cut off in the greater world. And for some reason on this indigenous reservation, they're fine, but then outsiders come and are trying to steal their resources. So I'm really interested in this one. I am saving a lot of my indigenous reads for Indigathon, which is happening in November. Next, I have Terra Nullius by Claire G. Coleman, who is a Noongar indigenous Australian author. This is obviously a dystopian, but Terra Nullius, like half of the people are awake during the day and half are awake during the night. And as you can picture, subjugated and minority groups, I think, are the night waking people. Very interested about that one. And Future Home of the Living God by Louis Edric, sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, who is an indigenous Anishinaabe Chippewa American author. This one, I believe, is about a dystopian world where everything has gone to shit and the main character is pregnant. So that is my dystopian list. Let's get into sci-fi. So I have Defy the Fates by Claudia Gray, which is not a surprise to anyone. I have loved the first two. You guys have heard me talk about it. If you like human AI stuff or YA sci-fi, this would be for you. I also have Dead Astronauts by Jeff Vandermeer. This one was one that I bought immediately when it came out in 2019 because I have loved Born by Jeff Vandermeer, and this is kind of the sequel, kind of set in the same world. If you know Vandermeer, it's very weird. It's set in a dystopian world where there's a huge flying bear and a science experiment gone wrong. I bought this because I was thinking, like, if I loved it, I absolutely want to buy the book because the cover is just absolutely gorgeous. I also have Escaping Exodus by Nikki Drayden. As you guys know, I read Prey of the Gods by Nikki Drayden. Her imagination is so great, and her stories are Afrocentric futurism stories with a lot of sci-fi elements. And Escaping Exodus, I believe, is set in space where people carve out space beings to live inside of them. I'm here for it. I also have Machines Like Me by Ian McEwan, again, because I'm very into the human AI thing, except I heard that there was a love triangle in here, so like, I don't know. Salvaged by Madeline Rue, which is, I heard it's like someone who cleans up spacecrafts after a battle or after something has gone wrong on them. She's like the cleanup crew. And I think there's one that goes wrong and it has body horror, I think. Also, the cover is just beautiful. And then the last one for sci-fi is The Future of Another Timeline by Annalee Newitz. I was very intrigued about, but I heard kind of lukewarm reviews. There's someone who is assaulted and she finds a way to time travel with her friends back in time to fix things that have happened. So next up, let's chat fantasy. Of course, Crier's War by Nina Varela. I bought it when it came out and I've just been too darn scared to read it. Again, it's human AI and it just sounds great. It's also sapphic love. It's about this world where there's automatons, I don't know what they're called, but basically they've taken over and our main character wants to get revenge. So she's going to kill the princess of the automaton race, I think, except I think they fall in love and I'm here for it. I've heard nothing but good things. And the second one is already out, so like I should really read this. Another one is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jackson. This I'm saving for October. This is about a young woman whose family is in the bone house killing job industry. Bone houses are basically zombies who rise from their graves and they have to put them back to ground. Here for it. I also have The Hunted by Bethany Chris, who is a Canadian author. This is a mermaid story where this prince pirate, I believe, is out to kill the leader of the mermaids, and then also we're following one of the mermaids who's being hunted. It has really high ratings, and I'm always here for something that sounds at all like The Little Mermaid. Staying with the sea theme, I also have Deep Light by Frances Harding. This one I bought because it says it is kind of like The Little Mermaid / Frankenstein, and I'm like, hello, come to me. So I know that this is, I think, middle grade or YA, and a boy's best friend is taken down to the deep, and then he has to go down to save him, and I'm just like, where does the Frankenstein element come in? I want to know. Also, I have The Queen of Euphoria by Effie Calvin. This one I've heard so much about from Jean at Bookishthoughts. It's an arranged marriage, but before it can go through, the prince dies, so instead they put forward their princess. So it's sapphic and it has dragons and it's set in space. I really want to read it. Also, the last fantasy I have is The Icarus Girl by Helen Oyeyemi. This one is a recent buy just because I was looking up Helen Oyeyemi and I was like, wow, that sounds good. It's about a girl who has an imaginary friend who might be a demon. Also, I love the cover. Also, I love the name. So I had to get this one. As for fiction, I have Johnny Appleseed by Joshua Whitehead, who is an Indigenous Canadian two-spirit author. I am currently reading this one today at the recommendation of Alicia from Alicia Reads. I also have Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake, which has super high ratings, but I think it's going to be emotionally devastating because it's following, I believe, a girl whose brother is accused of sexually assaulting someone else. I have I Hear Your Voice by Young Ha Kim, which is a South Korean translation. I've wanted to read this ever since I got it. I've heard about it. It's basically two young boys who are having a really rough start to life in Seoul, and they join a motorcycle gang. Yes, please. It sounds like Coin Locker Babies by Ryu Murakami, only plus motorcycles. Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. This one is about gang violence in America. It's written in poetry, I think. And it's about him going to get revenge on someone who killed his brother, I think. And as his elevator is going to their floor, different people come into the elevator and I think share stories with him. And I've heard it's nothing but excellent. I've just been putting it off because I don't feel like being emotionally devastated. I also have Lie With Me by Philip Besson, which is a French translation. I'm a sucker for anything that sounds like similar to Call Me By Your Name. This one is following two young boys experiencing their first love in France during the summer. So I should have read it during the summer, but I didn't. I also have, the last one I have is a very old book. It's The Sailor Who Fell from Grace with the Sea by Miyukio Mishima. So I'm a huge Mishima fan. I bought this one, I think, when I was living in Japan in the beginning. This is following young boys who really look up and idolize a sailor that their mother is dating. But then when I believe he does something or they break up, the boys plot revenge or something to teach him a lesson. And I'm like, what happens? I've wanted to read this. I've also hesitated because I don't have that many Yukio Mishimas left. And I just, you know, like when an author has passed away and there's a finite number of their books, I'm always like, oh, I don't know, is this the year? But yeah, I'm really interested to read that one. Next, let's do romance. So I do have a few. The AI Who Loved Me by Alyssa Cole. This one just intrigued me because it's, I believe, about a woman who falls in love with her neighbor who is an AI. I bought this one because I was going to do a mini burst about human AI stories, and I'm trash and haven't done that. I also have Cherry Bomb by Caramel Rhodes, who is a Black dark romance writer. I read Truly by her and it was problematic AF, but also I couldn't stop reading, so I really do want to read Cherry Bomb. A Gentleman Never Keeps Score, and It Takes Two to Tumble by Cat Sebastian. So these are not a surprise because I read the third in the series and I loved it. It's one of my favorite romances of the year. And I was a dill and read out of order. So this is number 1 and number 2, which I should have read before, but I didn't, but I bought them, but I'm hesitating. I'm just generally a trash person, I'm sorry. Let's do short stories. So I bought The Dark Dark by Samantha Hunt a few years ago. This one got me because of the cover. I like anything that looks like Rorschach-y. And this one, I don't know. I think it's just dark stories about technology. Is that right? I'm not sure. All I know is it's dark short stories. Let's do poetry. I have Split Tooth by Tanya Tagaq, who is an Indigenous Canadian author. This is another one that I bought for Indigathon in November. So like I said, I did buy some of these this year, but I wanted to stick them in the backlist video. I also have Your Soul is a River by Nikita Gill, who is an Indian UK Sikh poetry writer. Okay, so the deal with Nikita Gill is I read Your Heart is the Sea, loved it, gave it I think 4 or 4.5 stars. Then I read Fierce Fairy Tales, which is her feminist retelling of fairy tales, and I DNF'd it. So I'm a bit like nervous. It seems like either I really enjoy it or I'm like, oh my god, I can't be bothered. So, ooh, okay. And we are to my last section here. This is nonfiction. So I have 2. Don't Touch My Hair by Emma Dabiri, who's an Irish-Nigerian author. And this one I think is very interesting to me, both because of hearing from the Black point of view about black hair, but also for someone who wears a wig, because I also many times feel like saying to someone, don't effing touch my hair. Because sometimes shitty people, when they know that you're wearing a wig, they try and just touch it or grab it. And it has happened so many times before where like, I'm trying not to be rude, but also I just want to slap their hand away and be like, excuse you. Just because you think it's a wig doesn't give you the right to touch my hair. And I can only imagine that the black experience is just so much worse and so much more infuriating because just people are ignorant. So I'm really interested to read that one. And then the last one I have is Heartberries by Therese Marie Mailhot, who is an Indigenous Canadian author. This is a memoir about her experience growing up Indigenous in Canada. And I think it also ties in a lot with societal issues in Canada, which I haven't read about, I don't know about, so I'm really interested to get to that. Okay, so that is the end. That is the end. I hope that I can cut this down and it's not way too long, but that's how much I love you guys. I just went through 42 of my backlist ebooks. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, please do, because I often ask you guys what I should read or what you want me to film. So yeah, I look forward to talking to you there. So if you've made it this far, leave a heart emoji down below with the book that you were most interested in, and I will talk to you guys in another video soon. Lots of love. Bye.